So like I said, I'm very excited about today. Spent actually the bulk of yesterday getting ready for today, because later this morning I have my very first quinceañera. And I have faith that I have the permission and approval of Mary Magdalene, because with Mary Magdalene being that companion of Christ, that declarer of the resurrection of Christ, one of the best things we can do for our time today is to help you understand what a quinceañera is and why we bother with it. Because let's face it, most of you are white, really, really, really white. A little bit less white than me, but still. That means that a quinceañera is not a part of your culture, and that's fine. However, it is a part of your faith. This is a very Catholic thing we'll be doing later this morning. And if you ask me, Father Justin, what is a quinceañera? And if I was feeling a little silly, I would say, well, it's like a wedding, but the bride is 15 and there's no groom. That's the silly answer, and it's the reason priests don't like doing quinceañeras all the time. And seriously, that is what you would think in the eyes of culture, but not the eyes of faith. If you were peeking in the windows of the church, watching this going on, you'd be like, oh, is that a wedding? The bride is suspiciously young and there's no groom. That is what it looks like. However, when you crack into the ritual, it is not a pretend wedding. It's far closer to a confirmation, or a pre-confirmation, as it were. Basically, a quinceañera is a coming-of-age ritual. It can be for a guy, almost always for a girl who has recently turned 15. And in that culture, that's the coming-of-age year. And what a quinceañera is it's this young woman, she's reached that milestone in her life. She is at least more of an adult now. Maybe she's not a full adult. And she is re-declaring her life to Christ. She is essentially declaring before the community of faith and her family that she will progress on the path of Christ and live a Christian life as a young woman. And it's amazing. I love it. I will spare you my horrible Spanish, but I want to translate for you the Promesetas de seguir a Cristo, which is the promises to follow Christ. This is this would take the place of the vows if in fact it was a marriage. And so the priest says, in an agreement of faith and love to Christ, which has come to be expressed in this day, do you promise to trust always in God in all circumstances of life and to always seek to do His will? Yes, I promise. Do you promise to treat all people with the love of a sister? Yes, I promise. Do you promise to share with all your brothers and sisters all the gifts that you have received from your Creator? Yes, I promise. Do you promise to work to reveal the image of God to all people? Yes, I promise. I think that's so classy. I love this, and I am very proud to stand here and reject popular opinion. This is not a pretend wedding. This is not an excuse for a party. That's sometimes why people don't like them. This is a young person making a public act of faith. And I love that. The only thing that makes me sad, we don't have enough of these. I mean, in my culture, I had no idea this existed, by the way, until I was forced to learn about them in seminary. We never did anything like this. The closest we had was confirmation, which all of you know we don't take as seriously as we ought to. I mean, I didn't really understand what I was doing when I was there with Bishop Skilda. This is a beautiful thing. And I ask you, in the spirit of Mary Magdalene, that holy woman walking with Christ, the first to proclaim the resurrection, I ask that you say a prayer. Her name is Ariana. I ask that you say a prayer sometime this morning for her in gratitude for what she's about to do. And hold that possibility in your heart that by about noon today, there'll be a little bit more faith in the world than there was before.